Johnny Benson tried to make it back out on the racetrack, had problems with the right front. It put him in the wall again. And so another caution has come out here. It's the 6th one of the evening. This one coming out with 129 laps complete. And Johnny Benson will have to go back behind the wall again. Adam Alexander.
And that 51 of Kyle Busch had just on the radio said, I think I've got a tire going down. Major concerns for them. And then the caution flies, bailing them out, so to speak, so they did not have to come down under green. He was free that entire run. They talked about changing it with air pressure. 4 tires, top off the fuel tank. No doubt he is good to go on fuel. Only 20 laps to go, Ray.
And just before Johnny Benson got back into the wall, he had come on the radio and said, let's pit, put the hood up, and put about 4 rounds into the right front. He felt like it was dragging over there. Now the guys are trying to examine. Remember, that's where they put the brand new rotor on. So hopefully he didn't get into the wall too hard there. They're raising the right front, and they're going to put a new tire on that side and put the hood back down and see if Johnny can make a few more laps here. And as you guys said, the next truck ahead of him on the scoring order is Ron Hornaday, with a difference of about 5 laps between them.
Well, that won't change, Ray. These those guys could quit right there now, Phil, and not lose any more positions.
And Hornaday's not going to move ahead either.
No, it's all going to stay. We're going to leave here with a 3-point difference in the championship standings. It's awesome that we've got a battle like that.
And here's where he was talking about the right front blowing out. He had some problems here.
Yeah, he was all over the racetrack. Yeah, then he gets down there. I think something may have been rubbing. I'm not sure the right front. Now the right front tire is flat even before he hits the wall. So something was obviously rubbing that right front tire. It went down. Johnny makes contact with the wall. But meanwhile, that's a huge break. Is watch Terry Cook. He's going to watch Ron Hornaday. I mean, Johnny Benson. This is before that previous lap, before Johnny lost that tire.
Terry Cook was glad to get around him at that point because he'd been on the outside of him down in turn 1. This is...
Yeah, you heard the tire go down, and then he couldn't turn the truck. But what a huge break for our leader, Kevin Harvick. We knew he may need a little bit more insurance to have enough fuel to get to the end. He's going to get these caution laps, and they're coming from Johnny Benson.
Just got that insurance. That's Trip Bruce, and he is scratching his head. How did this day end the way it has? Let's take a look. At the very beginning of this race, lap number 1. That's Ron Hornaday, 6 points behind Johnny Benson when the race started. He's in the wall.
We figure it's all over for Ron Hornaday. We're going to Homestead with a huge point lead for Johnny Benson, even though Johnny got a little bit of damage from that incident. He actually ran into Ron Hornaday.
So after all of this, they go behind the wall, and this team goes to work. And they work feverishly to get this race truck back out on the racetrack. And a lot of guys were working on this truck. Not only the driver, but we had other teams that were working on it. And right back out onto the racetrack they go. They're 29 laps down. But he's on the racetrack.
See right there, Ron Hornaday in the middle of a big bunch of trucks. He backs out, try to be safely.
As you mentioned, Johnny Benson, we thought if he gets through this unscathed, he is going to have a huge point lead when he leaves here. But oh, a little bit of damage right there.
Could you imagine if they told Johnny Benson he was going to wreck on the first lap with the point lead, with the guy he's racing for the championship? How could that happen? You would not imagine how it could happen. And watch this. Colin Brown gets all over the inside of Johnny's truck. Colin hits the wall. Johnny avoids another close call.
He did not avoid this one, though. Unfortunately, he gets together with TJ Bell entering turn number 1. He makes contact with TJ and the outside wall and had to go behind the wall for extensive repairs, and we're back under green.
Green flag back in the air. Kevin Harvick now with that insurance of a couple laps of caution. He thinks he can make it on fuel, but can he stay in front of that 30 of Todd Bodine?
Check out Eric Darnell. He's jumped up on the outside of Mike Skinner, battling for 4th. Can he hold that spot? Skinner dives into turn 3.
Brad Keselowski also racing out there, trying to get by not only the 5, but the 99. He's just behind them, watching to see what will transpire in front of him.
Looks like Eric was able to make the pass to take over that spot from Mike Skinner. That moves him up to 4th. Brad Keselowski looks to the outside of Skinner.
Now trying to take that position away from Skinner. That's for 5th. Brad Keselowski runs 6th. Side by side as they go into 3.
Skinner had a rough start, a rough restart here, Phil, losing 2 spots, letting guys jump up on the outside of him. This truck pitted. Kyle Busch was on pit road for tires. He's driving around Kenny Wallace for the 10th spot. Man, he's fast. He gets a caution. Does he need a caution? If he gets a caution, he might still win this race.
Brian Scott right now is in the 3rd spot. Eric Darnell is trying to battle Brian for that 3rd position. Meanwhile, on the right side of your screen, that's Kyle Busch trying to get by Terry Cook and Matt Crafton. That will move him all the way up to 7th.
Kyle Busch, the man on the move. Also, Brad Keselowski trying to make the move to get by Mike Skinner. Keselowski's on the left side of your screen, Kyle Busch on the right.
I said, you know, would he get a caution? He might need a caution to get things bunched back up so he can go for this win, but darn, he's driving through, guys.
Oh, and problems again with the 23.
Boy, that may just put John Wes Townley also involved. I'll tell you, that's a huge break for Kyle Busch now. He's got new tires. The fastest truck on the racetrack. There's Kenny. Kenny was involved in that. Kenny was running up in about the 11th spot.
He had actually worked his way into the top 10, and it looks like he's got some right front flat. Did that result from contact? Yes, he's had some contact under this latest caution. Solid run for that 15 truck and Kenny Wallace. John Wes Townley had gotten some damage as well. Those two trucks might have gotten together. They were running in 11th and 12th together.
Take another look at what just took place to bring out our 7th caution of the night.
See, John West goes on the outside of the 11 of David Starr, then on the outside of the 15. I don't think Kenny knew that John West was there. Moved up the racetrack a little bit, squeezed John West into the outside wall.
That's a shame. Both those guys were having good runs. John West in a backup truck, he wrecked qualifying, and Kenny Wallace had to start in the back. So both these guys had overcome a lot of adversity, were racing up near the top 10, and now their trucks are all crumbled up.
We've seen quite a few crumbled up trucks this evening.
Boy, it's going to be exciting here when we get this restart to watch that 51 of Kyle Busch and watch that 2 of Kevin Harvick and see where they meet.
Kyle Busch currently running 7th.
Man, he was fast on this restart, though, passing cars, passing trucks left and right.
Adam Alexander.
And it's interesting that you guys talk about Kyle Busch and where he is and how fast he has been, because as soon as the caution came out, they reminded Kevin Harvick where he was. They said that 51 on those good tires, restarting 7th. They feel, though, like they'll be okay because this race will probably restart with less than 10 to go, and that should give him enough cushion. But, oh, man, it's going to be fun to watch Wild Thing try to come through and get another win.
Well, the other big thing, if they start inside of 10 laps, it's a single file restart. He doesn't have to worry about any lap down vehicles.
You know, another big thing they have in their favor, Kevin Harvick's team, I mean, they've got Kevin Harvick behind the wheel.
Yeah, and he's leading.
And he's leading.
I would say if you had anything that you wanted, you'd want to be up front inside of 10 laps to go. The 23 of Johnny Benson's going to try to get back out on the racetrack. Again, Benson and Hordenay running 26th and 25th, respectively. 3 points separate the top 2 in points.